IAM engineer versus IAM architect. Your org is hiring one and expecting the other. The scope collapse. Nobody talks about when the JD goes live. Most IAM architects I know have been interviewed like senior engineers. Ticketing speed, tool familiarity. Can you configure conditional access? Not once. Can you design the zero trust architecture for a 3,000-seat hybrid environment with 3 legacy identity stores and an M&A on the horizon? That's not a recruiter problem, that's a scope collapse baked into how orgs define the role. The infographic above was built for tech recruiters. The fact that it does exist tells you everything about how orgs hire for identity. Every hiring manager filling an IAM architect seat should already know the difference. The engineer asks, how do we make this work? The architect asks, what are we building and why? Confuse them, and you get an identity program built on execution with no one steering. Here's what scope collapse looks like in practice. An org posts an IAM architect role. The JD lists PowerShell, SAML, OIDC configuration, and Entra ID deployment. No mention of roadmap ownership, no mention of zero trust strategy, no mention of stakeholder engagement or IGA governance design. They hired an engineer and called it an architect. Then they wonder why their identity program has no strategic direction 18 months later. The fix isn't in the interview, it's in the job definition. Before your next IAM hire, answer these 3 questions honestly. Do you have a documented 2 to 3 year identity roadmap? Not a project list? Not a backlog? An architecture roadmap with zero trust milestones, platform decisions, and governance targets. If it doesn't exist, you need an architect, not another deployment resource. Does anyone own identity strategy at a design level? Policy configuration isn't strategy. If your architect spends 80% of their time on tickets and break fix, the strategy seat is empty regardless of the title on the org chart. Is your joiner mover leaver process documented and owned? Tribal knowledge isn't governance. If the answer lives in one person's head, or worse, in no one's, that's an IGA design gap, not an operational one. If any answer is no, you don't have a hiring problem, you have a scope gap. A scope gap doesn't close with a better candidate. It closes with a better question. Govern the scope before you post the rec. IAM seniority isn't measured in tools. It's measured in the questions someone knows to ask before the first line of PowerShell gets written.